with these, that they need to say, adopt policy-wise rather than you get 5, you get 8.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Questions? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll, please.
Trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 ayes.
Okay, next, under old business, is item C, the amendment of MCA amendment to contract.
Correct. This was also on 2 weeks ago COW meeting. It is an amendment to a present contract that we have, and it's being brought forward because the firm has brought it to our attention that the state of Illinois has adopted a new statute that allows the collector, that are known as MCA, to add on the 35% to the debtor. And if, for example, the bill is $100 owed to the village, prior to this, the village would have only gotten $65 and MCA would have gotten $35. Now, the village will get their full $100 and MCA will get their $35 from the debtor. And then once again, staff is in full 100% support of this.
I would like to make a motion to approve the amendment of MCA contract.
Second.
All right, the motion is seconded. Any questions? All right, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 ayes.
Thank you. Number D, number 4, under old business is a broker of record, a third-party administrator for workman's comp disability, TPA.
In layman's terms, what TPA is third-party administrator. This board has chosen the Saval Insurance Agency as their broker of record to carry and take care of all of their workman's comp and their liability insurance needs. They in turn then would recommend a third-party administrator. I will give as an example, if the village gets a workman's comp claim, it would come into the village hall. We would then contact the broker. The broker does not handle the paperwork, they turn it over to the third-party administrator. In the past, up until it'll end, I believe it's April, we have actually had 3 third-party administrators. One of them would handle workman's comp. A second one would handle workman's comp. And we've talked about that. That was the issue we were talking about with Jerome Fink. And we had a third, CCMI, who handled all of our liability insurance. Staff is recommending, and we met with the Saval group last week, Friday, and we had one of the TPAs there. I've met with one of the other TPAs, and we have agreed that we're recommending that we give all of the TPA business to one group, and that would be CCMI. They are able to handle all the work. They have worked with us. That's not even saying it right. In the past, CCMI, on occasion, has actually up-fronted settlement money when we couldn't afford to pay it. So we actually owe CCMI, and that's not the reason for giving it to them. Price was important and service was important. I have, in a very short time, built up a relationship with CCMI. They are very user-friendly. They are very professional. They send out reports more than I send out emails to my board so that we can stay on top of things and hopefully, as I know that I've mentioned over the last few weeks, resolve 28 or 29 of the workman's comp cases that are out there and get them done, get them off the books. And they never worked on those before. So staff, there are the gentleman sitting there with the white shirt kind of napping, that's Steve, he's with CCMI. And then the group on this side is the Saval group. They're here and willing to answer any and all questions that you might have.
I'll make a motion that we accept the ordinance for CCMSI,
Second.
What is it?
or motion, I'm sorry, for CCMSI.
Who seconded the motion? Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Yes, I'd like to address we were basically under Mesero, and we had Mesero, we've been under them for the past amount of years, and Owens had came in May. And it was a blessing that we went to a seminar and ran into the Sabal group and discussed our situation with them, and they came in the ground running. And they was actually able to see where we were being taken. Money was just being paid out with no service. So I like to say kudos to the Sabal group that came in and found out this TPA that got millions of dollars from us and did no work. So for Sabal to come in and do that within a month's time, and we have had Mesero for years and Owens since May. Want to thank you guys for coming in, doing that hound dog work and saving this village some money. Want to say a little something there? Hey, appreciate you guys.
Any other comments, questions? Trustees? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carries 6.
Okay. Next thing under old business is
It would be E.
disposal of VOD real estate.
This has been brought up again by Trustee Henyard when she requested a inventory of all properties. And as you've even heard this evening, we're learning more and more, like the Needles property at this point was questionable, and now it appears, I haven't seen the documentation yet, but it surely sounds like we own that property.
Sounds good. I want to see that documentation.
Right. So the trustee realizes that it is time to reinvest in the community, allowing people that live in the community the first chance to buy in the community. And I'm sure we will be offering the products at a reasonable rate. What this does not give the village administrator the authority to run out, sell a property, sign a lease, sign a sale agreement, and put the money in the bank, which may have been done years ago. What this allows me to do is to market certain properties, and I'll be working with Trustee Henyard and with Ms. Fields, that choose the ones we want to market first. As they are sold, each one of them, all of them together, will have to come back before this board with a resolution authorizing the contract. So everybody's on board. I just can't run out and sell these things tomorrow. We can market them, put it together, get offers, then we have to bring every one of them back to this board. Staff is full recommendation of holding this auction, as Trustee Henyard said, in April.
Yes. I would like to make a motion to approve disposal of village surplus real estate.
Second.
Moving second, are there any questions?
Yes. I'd like to know if there's, I've never been to a real estate auction, so if I sound a little ignorant, you gotta excuse me. But when you have an auction, is there a minimum price? Do you just go and bid on a house, or
You can put minimums, that's very common in today's world, depending on the properties, and we'll have to ride around and look at them and really look and see what they might be worth. We'll have to talk to some realtors and get some advice, but normally you would put a minimum on them, yes.
Okay, so this motion is just,
This is not setting price,
Sale.
this is just saying that
Okay.
you have all decided you want to liquidate property. There was an ordinance similar to this back in 2012, was it, Steve Bendel, or 13?
Okay.
Well, you questioned me the other day, it's on my desk. about selling village-owned property, but like Canon copiers and all of that
It was
stuff.
copiers, it was, the, people mover, which we haven't heard if it's,
Well, we're working on that. We just signed to get a title on it, so we have a clear title. But that's what this is like, so that we have the opportunity to sell.
Well, we need to do this, so let's go.
Any other questions or comments, concerns?
Yeah, you know me, I always got statements. I just want to say, I'm pleased to announce that we are, unloading our real estate here at the Village of Dolton, and the first people to have access to that will be, residents first. Once we find a date and time and place to hold the auction, we will let everybody know. And again, just a reminder, please save your money. I know it's tax season, so go do your taxes, go on H&R Block, and we will be doing that in April. Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Bendel.
aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 ayes.
Woo, thank you, board. Okay. Finally, under old business.
Yeah.
That's old business. Yeah, old business. The authorization of repair for the water pump station backup diesel generator, for water department. Mr. Urban.
This was discussed at a COW meeting, the most current COW meeting. The fiscal impact is not to exceed $2,060. Mr. Stacy has been spearheading this project with his crew, and this was declared as an emergency repair. And now we're just looking for the authorization. We got the go-ahead to do it. We're just doing it through the formal legal way that the board is blessing it to spend this money. So we're just looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid for, the water pump station, not to exceed the $2,060.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
I got one. I'd like to say, Matt Stacy and hopefully all our departments, we get us a PM together, preventive maintenance, schedule, for all our equipment, so we won't have our back against the wall.
New water operators been doing that since you guys for more than that spot.
Mike Layton.
You go away, you got records of everything. Grease, ran, how long, how many hours, everything.
Yeah, but that'd be good if you guys can share up with other
This
departments.
is stuff that, hasn't been done in the past. So luckily he went through and started doing all that, that's how we found all these problems. Before it was a problem in an emergency.
Great job.
Mr. Stacy,
Yes, ma'am.
with that, what we're approving tonight, is that in conjunction with that email that was sent out, or is that something new?
What you're approving tonight was identified about 3 weeks ago at the COW meeting. What was identified and brought to your attention today via an email was actually brought to my attention and Trustee Bendel's attention last week, Thursday.
So that's something new?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Jesus.
Old things have a tendency of wearing out.
Okay. Good. Any questions? Anyone? Nobody? Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 ayes.
Okay. The new business, actually, items A, B, and C are all actually items that should be discussed in closed session. The only one, the issue of the tax anticipation, because A, and B are employees, that's personnel, and C is contract.
I would ask for a legal opinion only because there is a,
Not closed session, because there's no independent contract.
Cool.
A and B, though you
A
have
and B, you
it
can
in
hold on to
ordinance.
closed session.
You can go into close, but will they not have to come out and vote on it ultimately?
Yes. do that after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, well then, A and B is a closed session, so we're gonna move to item C. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we'll just hold off and then go to closed session. Those will be two of the items that will be discussed.
So moving on to item C, under new business, which is the engagement letter for John Kasparic and Company.
This isn't, it's actually discussed in executive session 2 weeks ago, or longer. No, it was longer than 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. This was an executive session at the last board meeting, so 4 weeks ago. With relationship, actually it's tied to item A of the new business. There was one contract issued for the amount of $5,000. And this is an extension of that contract, not for the length of the contract, but increasing the dollar amount to not to exceed $13,000 a month, I believe it was. I don't have it in front of me, I'm sorry. No. It's $90 per year, or, hold on.
Four-month contract not to exceed $52,000.
There you go. Thank you. They said this was discussed in executive session.
It's for 4 months.
It would end, expire, sunset no later than April 30th, 2012. Excuse me, 14.
You say
14. April 30th, 2014.
You said April 30th?
Yes, the new fiscal year would start on May 1st. We do not have monies budgeted to go beyond that for this item.
I have a question. I'm sorry, is it open for discussion yet?
No.
Okay.
Are you finished, Mr. Irvin?
Yes?
All right, I need a motion, ladies and gentlemen, a motion and a second.
I make a motion that we accept, the agreement with John Kasparic.
I'll second it.
Okay, it has been moved and second. Any questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I got a concern. Everybody know me. I'm a penny pitcher. $18,000 a lot of money for a month for a CPA or whatever they call for 40 hours for 1 week. I was thinking maybe we could do month to month instead of 4 months.
It's the pleasure of the board.
Wait,
Month to month because we are hiring someone else. I don't want to put it in stone for 4 months.
We have started phone interviews, and I was in contact with the finance committee chair this weekend on several occasions. We had 7 appointments set up. I had 2 people withdraw their names last minute. Out of the 5 that I did interview, there was a potential of 2 that would be considered that I would bring to be interviewed on a face-to-face with Mr. Hunt, except we can't afford them. They're both in excess of 6 digits of their last jobs. Now, I am going to reach back out to them, saying that we can't afford that. Actually, I did receive an email just as we were entering this meeting, and one of them is willing to come on as a contractor at $100 an hour, which is higher than this. So, yes, we're working and hiring somebody, but do I have somebody sitting in the wings that can start in a week or 10 days? No.
so,
I think,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but I think one thing, and I don't know if I had a discussion with you, we can hire, I know we're looking for a top CFO, but right now we're paying the consultants probably $100 an hour to cut AP checks, cut payroll checks, when we can probably get a clerk for $10 to $15. So I know you are scrutinizing that list, but we can kind of cut back on some of that fee with hiring. I say before I have John Kasparic come in doing the high level stuff, by hiring an accountant that can come in to cut AP checks. I've seen AP clerks that make $10 to $15 an hour, and $20 an hour. So that's the one thing. So we do want you to hire the best, but we should not be eliminating so many people. That's all I have to say about that, if that makes sense.
Anyone else?
Yeah, you, just remember, you get what you pay for. I'm willing to withdraw the motion if you guys wanna go on a month to month. But however, you get what you pay for.
Right.
And if you get somebody for $10, $15 an hour, and they go up there and screw things up, like it's been screwed up for the last 10 years, that's what you're gonna get. You bought that company in here, and we are moving on your recommendation. Kasperick was one of the people you recommended, so if you guys wanna back out, if you wanna go to month, I understand that, because we might hire somebody. I don't, however, recommend us going and doing something with somebody for $10 or $15 an hour, because you're talking about a lot of money here, and you need experience and expertise to dig us out of this hole that we're in up in that finance department.
Well, I disagree. I've been working with finance for many years. If you Google accounting clerks and AP clerks, you'll see they probably average raise is about $15 to $20 an hour. And I bet money, if you Google that, you will see that. So that's not a very low ball number. I've been doing this for several years. Two, about your comment that I brought this company here, that is not a true statement at all. Actually, I went in the back of the executive session and I was just thrown upon my face with the administration and the mayor. So that was not me at all that brought that company here. I was totally shocked about having a $52,000 contract in my face, no phone call, nothing, just was in executive session. So the comments you made about that was a totally false statement.
The statement's not false, but I'm not gonna sit here and debate it with you. And I've been working with finance departments for 40 years. And you do get what you pay for. I just want the best thing for the village. I don't wanna argue about it. I want the best thing for the village. So, as I said, I would be willing to withdraw that motion and go to a month to month. However, I disagree with hiring a clerk who's gonna need to work under somebody. I guarantee you, they'll need to work under Kasperick or somebody else, but it's up to the board to do what they see fit.
So are you withdrawing that motion, so we can do month to month?
I'm just drawing a motion to allow us to go month to month.
Okay.
I have a question here. Maybe, I don't know who can answer this. In this one paragraph, it says, our fees for these services will be billed at $90 per hour for CPAs assigned to the engagement, and $80 for any additional staff from John Kasperick Company, Inc. involved with this engagement. Okay, please remind me, $90 per hour for CPAs assigned to the engagement and $80 for any additional staff. What would constitute additional staff? How many, I mean, when they come here, would it be 2 people or one for a couple hours, then another one, 2 people working together, and if anyone different has to come, it's $80. How are they, just remind me, how are they?
We have 2 employees of Kasperick that are here on a regular, irregular basis. If one of the employees is a CPA, when she is here, she's being billed out at $90 an hour. We also have one that is a certified fraud investigator, but not a CPA, who is being billed out at $80 an hour. Are there times that they're both here at the very first on-site, probably say about 3 days out of the week? Right now, we're down to 1 person, and as we need, we're communicating via email or phone. So it's a hit and miss depending on what I feel the needs are to get things done. For example, like today, 1 person spent the entire day making sure, the entire day, spent most of her day preparing and making sure everything was entered for the payroll that has to be done for Friday. Now, the rest of the week, she'll be working on other tasks that I'll be giving to her. There's other things that we have to start generating and getting information out to the board. We have now found the tops of the desks so the debts are at least cleared. There were a number of filings that were not done, things that needed to be done. Actually, Attorney Murphy brought one forward, and at the same breath, we had found the filing on the desk that had to be done the day that we found it. So, getting things under control, but they're not, no, I should say, we're not in out of control mode anymore. We have a feel on where the money is at, how much we have. When it's going to start coming in, it's just starting to trickle in again because of tax season. But I believe in one of the emails that was presented, and maybe even in their memo, we have way too many checking accounts. Why we have those accounts, I don't know, I don't really care. But we gotta streamline it. I can tell you, just to get certain people's names off of the accounts and get my name onto the accounts to transfer funds took almost 4 days. Because everything has to be faxed, then voice verified, then basically fingerprinted. I couldn't believe what I had to do. But we're getting to that point, and so that everybody knows, before you had 3 signatories. Now you only have 2. I don't, and neither did the Kasperick people, understand how somebody that transferred the money also had the authority to sign a check. I have the authority to transfer. The 2 signatories do not have that authority. They can only sign the check. So there are checks and balances as we go, going along. Things like the little note that we left on your desk tonight about phones and usages and signings. We have no documents up there for policies. I know those are minute. We have to start somewhere. We've put other policies in place, which we've sent copies to you. Those things are all taking place. Probably not as fast as this board wants, but keep in mind, I can't, and they can't, straighten out 3 decades worth of mess in 3 months.
Okay, so with that said, basically, at this time, we only need to really use the fraudulent person. I'm asking, I'm asking this question because
On a day,
it's more than, what I'm saying is, we have the other young lady here doing the books more often than we have the young lady looking for fraud.
no, the difference is, and I would defer to Mr. Hunt, they're both able to prepare books and do data entry and enter. I just used the clarification of what they are, their titles. Am I on a fraud hunt? No. It's just her title is, that's what she's got. She doesn't have her CPA. She's a certified fraud investigator. But she still knows how to set up books and get things done. To do the payroll, she's the one that did the payroll today, not the CPA lady.
I'm sorry, yes.
I'd just like to touch on, clarification. It seems though every day, it's a lot of things have been surfacing. And we're kind of in a situation where these individuals find a lot of things that we didn't know about, that they are finding out. It's just not that they just, sign checks. It's a whole lot more things going on out there because their checks has actually been sitting up there from the past administration. It's been, in drawers and cabinets. So these individuals find some things that we may have to pay that little bang for the buck for right now, because they're not just signing checks. They find a lot of mishaps, and it has been some fraudulent things going on up there that's been brought out. So, all right, do we have an option to go month by month, or are we looked at locked into?
Kasperick has been very user-friendly. They have no problem doing month to month. They'll do it day to day. They were here before, I shouldn't say that. I believe Kasperick's group was discussed before I got hired to bring them in on a much lesser seller here, much less contract. So they were here. They were looking into things. They just started when I got there because the approval of the contract just happened, I think, the same week I got hired. Yeah, they'll go to a month to month. I can tell you that the first time I met John Kasperick, I asked him, because I knew I had a problem in the finance department, could he find someone to replace the person we had on a contractual basis permanently? And his answer, the first meeting, which was the first week, second week of December was, I'm not in that business, Stan. I'm here to help you. I want to get in. I want to get a, yeah, month to month would be fine.
Yeah, and then, just to touch base, as you stated, the certified, you can hire, we can maybe, we have, I like the month idea, just give us more space to do more maneuvering. We can hire a part-time payroll clerk. People are trained to do that in temp agencies that can be cheaper, so I think the month to month is a great option right now.
So, Mark, do
Why don't
I
we
need to
go
make
back?
it, or you?
Motion to amend the original motion to approve the Casparic contract, but only for a 1 month period at the rate set.
Can we do this in closed? talk?
No, you can't.
Contract.
Can we amend it to just say month to
Yeah,
month?
yeah,
One month?
yeah, you'll come
Yeah, month to
back,
month.
because you've got two variables going here, you've got the pace of hiring a new finance person. If that thing slows down, then you may wanna use them for another month. If you get
Right.
lucky in the next 2 weeks, you know, you
Yeah.
may be able to read them
Right.
off.
Right. Okay.
Well, Pearson, you, trustee Pearson, you made the original motion, do you want to
Yeah,
amend it?
I make a motion to amend, the contract, I mean, the motion here, engagement letter to John Casparic to a month instead of a 4 month.
And I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and second, amended, I'm sorry,